Mega banks and mega bucks. 4 big banks fold into 2 giant banks, one of them becoming the biggest in the country. And we'll report to you why you should care. Deep denial. Baby boomers say their kids don't mess around with drugs. But in a new report out today, that's not what the kids say. And it's our 50th anniversary, a half century of the CBS Evening News. Tonight we begin a week-long look back at world-changing events and the people who reported them.
This is the CBS Evening News, with Dan Rather reporting from CBS News headquarters in New York.
Good evening. Not 1, but 2 mega bank mergers were announced today. This is part of an accelerating trend that figures to drastically change the way major financial institutions handle our money. One of the deals will create the biggest bank in the country. The mergers are the talk of the financial world. Their impact will also be felt by tens of millions of Americans, for better and for worse. Ray Brady begins our coverage with the nuts and bolts of the big money marriages.
Y'all got that?
They shook hands today and put together a $500 billion banking giant. Hugh McCall Jr. of Nations Bank and David Coulter of Bank America. Together, they'll be the nation's biggest bank.
Given our goals for our customers, our people, our communities, and our shareholders, bigger is indeed better.
Size does matter. Combined, San Francisco-based Bank America and Charlotte's Nations Bank will cover the U.S. from east to west, with 4,700 branches and 15,000 ATMs. Those are awesome numbers. But even as the 2 banks were talking in Manhattan's posh Waldorf Astoria, just a few rooms away and 2 minutes later, another handshake and another mega merger. Bank One in First Chicago, creating a $230 billion banking behemoth. Big banks say they've got to expand geographically so their fortunes don't hang on one region's economy. And they want to grow new muscle to fight off competition. But that's what worries Ken Gunther of the Independent Bankers Association.
When the big are getting bigger, I think you can be sure that someone is going to pay the piper. And it's going to be the man on the street that is going to pay the piper in worse service and higher fees.
Today's deals cap a 15-year trend of bank deregulation and the undoing of laws originally enacted to prevent a repeat of the bank failures of the 1930s. This latest consolidation of banking power represents the biggest and boldest moves away from those laws.
Ray Brady reporting. Today's mergers could be just the tip of an enormous global economic iceberg, with the big crunch still to come for banking competitors and for customers. CBS's Anthony Mason looks at today's big deal, where it began and where it's heading.
It began modestly as the North Carolina National Bank. Now the corporate headquarters of Nations Bank towers over the Charlotte skyline.
I've been in the same company for 39 years. We built this company from nothing.
CEO Hugh McCall, a former Marine, has led Nations Bank through some 60 mergers and acquisitions, including Bank South, Citizens Federal, Florida's Barnett Banks, Boatman's Bank Shares of St. Louis, and now Bank America.
I think it's a blockbuster. I call it a showstopper. In other words, everybody else becomes basically irrelevant.
His competitors might disagree, but there's no denying that with this merger, McCall has altered the landscape of an entire industry.
Any fairly large banking institution has got to be thinking about whether they need to merge to survive.
Stephen Brobeck of the Consumer Federation sees a dramatic wave of super mergers ahead, creating half a dozen banking behemoths and some concerns for consumers.
If we end up with only 5 to 10 huge financial services companies, there's an open question as to whether the community banks, the thrifts, and the credit unions can continue to compete adequately with them.
But the search for partners in the merger dance is at a frenzy. Hugh McCall may be taken.
I'm through with mergers. This is my last one.
But for his competitors, it's just beginning. Anthony Mason, CBS News, New York.
The International Monetary Fund had a grim forecast today for the once booming Japanese economy. The fund's World Economic Outlook says Japan is being hit hardest by the Asian financial crisis and has a host of domestic problems also pulling down its economy. The International Monetary Fund predicts the best Japan can hope for this year is zero growth. Attention baby boomers. A new survey today suggests more of today's children try marijuana before they're old enough to spell it. 571,000 9 to 12-year-olds said they tried it last year. That's up from 334,000 in 1993. 43% of parents say it would be easy for their teens to get pot. 58% of the teens say it's easy. Now, if that leaves you dazed and confused, CBS's Bill Whitaker gives you information to set you straight.
60% of baby boomers did inhale in their youth, but somehow believe their own children are just saying no. They're in denial. According to today's survey, almost 45% of current teens have used marijuana, and most of their boomer parents don't even have a clue. Just ask Deborah Paget Barr.
I just believe that, drugs could not touch our family. Tish was too smart to use drugs. But I was dead wrong.
Tish Barr started with marijuana and was dead of a drug overdose at 18. The survey found almost half of all 17 and 18-year-olds have tried marijuana. A shocking 1/3 of 9 to 12-year-olds have been offered drugs. Eric Cruz started getting high when he was 11. Now he's in treatment for drug abuse.
There's been several occasions where I have come home just loaded and my eyes have been red and my parents just sort of turn their head.
Eric and his counselors are convinced teen drug use is even greater than the numbers show.
You find young people who get up in the morning and they smoke marijuana before they go to their first class.
What did your mommy tell you about drugs?
The sponsors of the survey are running commercials to wake boomer parents up.
Your children are listening. Are you talking?
We know that teens who report learning a lot about the harmfulness of drugs from their parents are about half as likely to try as those who don't.
And just saying nothing can be deadly. Bill Whitaker, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Still to come on the CBS Evening News, a look at how much the Clintons earned and how much they are paying in taxes after the deadly tornadoes, trying to get life back to normal. A new report on life expectancy in the next century. And with this broadcast turning 50, we'll give you a special look back at the beginning.
Death from the Indianapolis 500, a Memorial Day service in Arlington.
Has frequent heartburn been a persistent problem for you? Have you treated it but still suffer on 2 or more days a week? Do you keep getting heartburn even though you've changed your diet? Your heartburn may be due to a potentially serious condition called acid reflux disease. Ask your doctor if Prilosec is right for you. Just 1 Prilosec capsule daily can provide 24-hour acid control. Prilosec is not for everybody. Only your doctor can decide if it's right for you. The most common side effects are headache, diarrhea, and abdominal pain. To learn more, call this number, ask your doctor or pharmacist, or see our Life magazine ad. Want 24-hour acid control with just 1 daily capsule? Ask your doctor about Prilosec.
Since Excedrin's the headache medicine, it was tested on one of the toughest types of headaches, migraines. The clinical tests proved Excedrin's formula relieves migraine headache pain. And to better help migraine sufferers, the FDA worked with Excedrin to develop an additional package with specific information about migraines. So next to Excedrin, there's a new package. Same proven formula called Excedrin Migraine. Excedrin Migraine, the only non-prescription medicine approved for migraine pain relief.
Last year, we got $10.2 billion back for our clients, 1 customer at a time. Is this the year we help you get what you have coming?
Someone to watch over me.
Last Friday's peace agreement in Northern Ireland passed its first test today. Protestants loyal to Great Britain paraded through Belfast as they do every spring. However, this time they avoided marching through Irish Roman Catholic neighborhoods, and there was no violence. At the White House, former U.S. Senator George Mitchell of Maine, who chaired the peace talks, said the agreement would never have been reached without President Clinton's involvement. Mitchell said he hopes the president will visit Northern Ireland in the coming months. In other news involving the White House, it's a new stalemate between Special Prosecutor Ken Starr and the Secret Service over testimony by Secret Service agents. CBS's White House correspondent Scott Pelley has the exclusive on this. Scott, what's this about?
Dan, CBS News has learned that the Secret Service is ending its cooperation with Ken Starr's investigation. Over the last several weeks, in an informal agreement, Secret Service agents have been talking to prosecutors, telling them about White House record keeping and procedures. But now Ken Starr wants to go farther. He wants to ask the agents if they ever saw the president with Monica Lewinsky in the White House. The service is saying no, arguing that forcing the agents to testify would break a bond of trust that is essential for protecting the president. Now, negotiations on that point have reached an impasse, and now one source tells CBS News Tonight if Ken Starr sends subpoenas for the agents, then, quote, the Secret Service will see him in court. Dan?
Scott Pelley. There are no secrets tonight about the Clintons and their joint income tax return for tax year 97. The Clintons paid almost $92,000 in federal taxes on income of $569,511. They had a lot of deductions. The First Lady made more than the President on royalties from her book and investments. At Yankee Stadium in New York City tonight, the ball game between the Yankees and the California Angels has been called off because of structural damage to Yankee Stadium. Apparently a beam in the left field stands is out of place.
Vogue Eyewear by Luxottica. What do you want people to see?
I want you to see
Where it all started.
Growing up doesn't equal growing old.
I want you to see next year's trend.
Let them see you in Vogue Eyewear by Luxottica.
Gas? Bloating? Need relief that's Phazime Fast?
Yes.
Get new maximum strength Phazime, now with 33% more medicine in each pill. Relieve gas, Phazime Fast. More medicine, fast relief, Phazime.
I need to feel strong.
I need 65 more years with him.
I need
to do-see-do.
One A Day knows we all need something different to feel our best. Because women need more calcium, there's One A Day Women's Formula.
I need a zookeeper.
Our men's formula has more B vitamins, and we added more vitamin C and D to One A Day 50 Plus.
I need to break 100.
Feel your best. Take your One A Day. It's just what you need.
Yeehaw!
This is for
Anyone who looks at things differently.
This is for the green light.
This is for cutting through the wind.
This is for your right foot. This is for people who want to be noticed.
This.
This is for me. This is for me.
This is for me.
For me.
For me.
This is for those who want to be heard.
This is for Saturday night.
This is Driving Excitement by Pontiac.
Where elementary school kids strip searched by their principal. She was looking for money. One student reported missing. We'll have the complete story on News Channel 5 at 6.
The gender gap is closing. Only in this case, it's men catching up to women in life expectancy. A new MetLife company study finds men gained a year of expected life since the late 1980s. Women gained about 2 months. Even so, American boys born in 1996 can expect to live 72.8 years. Girls born in 96 can expect to live 79 years. Life and death are still very much on the minds of people in the path of those killer tornadoes last week in and around Birmingham, Alabama. President Clinton will visit the disaster zone on Wednesday. In Alabama today, life is far from normal, but as CBS's Cynthia Bowers reports, they've strengthened their spirits and made a start.
Picking up the pieces is a painstaking process, and progress is slow today. With thousands of homes destroyed, federal officials are having a hard time coming up with a damage estimate. But here, sometimes just a simple sack of groceries and a smile help people feel someday things will be back to normal. On their first day back at school, kids carry teddy bears in place of textbooks, and classrooms come equipped with counselors. Lessons deal with matters of life and death and heroes of the storm.
You know, he was trying to save other people from it, and he got killed. But at least he died and did something good.
Finding something good in all this isn't easy. Here at Minor Junior High School, 200 students are now homeless, many hopeless as well.
Everything they were familiar with is now gone. They have no sense of direction now, a sense of loss that they never thought they would have to endure as a child.
Despite all the losses, these kids see themselves as winners.
They learned how to survive, and we have shared a lot of survival stories.
And though they've grown up a lot in the past few days, the playground here still rings with the sounds of laughter and plenty of signs of life. Cynthia Bowers, CBS News, Birmingham, Alabama.
The Clinton administration will issue a new air safety initiative tomorrow. Tonight, CBS's aviation correspondent Bob Orr has advance word on what's in it. It's a 5-year plan to cut air crashes by 80%. One key, this new high-tech collision alert system in the cockpit. Besides warning an aircraft is too close to the ground, it also warns of mountains and other obstacles ahead. That's the leading cause of air crashes. Coming up next, the first of our Golden Anniversary series looks back at the birth of the CBS Evening News.
You can feel it start to burn. All you can think about is getting rid of it quickly. Finally, I asked my doctor. He said my Lanta was made to work fast where heartburn hurts most, all through here. My doctor said my Lanta.
I didn't know hearing aids had gotten this tiny. Beltone's Invisa hides inside my ear.
He hears great, and he's as good looking as ever.
Visit Beltone for your free hearing test and see Invisa. It's as small around as a soft contact lens.
Funny how a little Hellman's brings out the best in you, your family, and everything.
Ooh, a computer with the 300 megahertz Intel Pentium 2 processor. You know it's fast, and you thought it was priced just out of your reach. Until now. The $19.99 PC with the 300 megahertz Intel Pentium 2 processor from Gateway. Complete with 32 megs of RAM, 17-inch monitor, AGP graphics, and a whole lot more. Call us at 1-800-GATEWAY, and we'll build one for you.
Hey, I got a letter back from Quaker. I wrote and told them that Quaker toasted oatmeal ought to be called Quaker tasty oatmeal.
It's oatmeal, it's toasted. To me, that says tasty.
Well, then they should call it that.
You need a hobby.
Quaker toasted oatmeal. It's your other oatmeal.
Life's an adventure because you're over 50 and still exploring. So take the Centrum made just for you, Centrum Silver, with age-essential nutrients specially adjusted to keep pace with your changing nutritional needs. Centrum Silver, it's a great time to be silver.
She was only 14. He was her teacher.
Want me to talk dirty to you?
He had me convinced I wasn't a child.
Did he betray a sacred trust? 48 Hours, Thursday.
We're going to try something special tonight and every night this week. The occasion, this broadcast, the CBS Evening News, first went on the air 50 years ago in spring 1948. To mark our golden anniversary, we asked CBS News documentary producers Joel Bernstein and Catherine Pope to turn their cameras on the people who have put this broadcast on the air from its earliest days until now. For 5 decades, the Evening News has covered the incredible events of this most incredible century. This week, we're going to relive some of those events. Tonight, Part 1 looks at the civil rights struggle and the advent of Walter Cronkite as anchorman. But the CBS Evening News began before Cronkite. In the earliest days of television, the days when Douglas Edwards anchored this broadcast.
Good evening, everybody. Here's the news picture tonight.
We had virtually no graphics. We had virtually no film. The whole operation was so primitive that you can't even imagine it.
Other items in the news of the day.
The great names, Edward R. Murrow, Eric Sevareid, Charlie Collingwood, they wouldn't deign to be caught in television. Television was this thing that the kids did, and they played, and it was for Romper Room and Howdy Doody.
We have some new pictures just received of Bonnie Prince Charlie, the future King of England. He's 19 weeks old, I should have said.
The Doug Edwards era in CBS News could really be described as semi-amateur baseball. We were a lot of people who hadn't the faintest idea of what we were doing. It was just amazing that we actually were able to get a program on the air at all.
We're thinking for you.
about 500 feet over the Atlantic.
Two ships collided off New England, the Andrea Doria and the Stockholm. And we rushed up there to fly over the Andrea Doria. And by the time we got there, everybody had already been out on the thing. They'd been out in planes. They'd all filmed it. And we figured it's silly. What are we going out there for? Because everybody's got it. And I say to the skipper who's flying us, how long do you think that's going to stay afloat? I figured he'd say another week, 3 days, a month. I didn't know what he was going to say. He said, keep that camera rolling. She's going down in the next 10 minutes. We were the only ones flying over the Andrea Doria when this enormous ship, it turned over like a big dead elephant.
The terrible sight to see. And down goes the Andrea Doria, the time 10:09 Eastern Daylight Time.
We arrived back at this Naval Air Station somewhere in Rhode Island. I phoned the desk and they said, hey, forget it. Everybody's had stuff on the air ready and you're late. I said, yeah, but we got it sinking. Dumb luck. By being late, we got the story.
Douglas Edwards saying goodnight for CBS News.
CBS decided that if it were to compete with NBC, which had a new young pair of broadcasters, Huntley and Brinkley, it had to do more than Doug Edwards.
Underwater. The Great Ohio River System is out of its...
Walter Cronkite had Anchorman written all over it.
420 Lexington, the Gray Bar Building.
By the time Cronkite took over the evening news, CBS television news was a giant enterprise. In a decade, this had grown from 8 people to 800 people, with offices all over the world and material coming in day and night and everybody working round the clock. And of course, Cronkite was the right person to be the flag bearer for CBS News.
Don't forget, we're going right to Chicago directly out of this. Hughes Rudd has the story. Stand by.
When the film was developed, it came out as negative film. It didn't come out as positive film. And there was a device invented to change the polarity in the projector so that the negative became positive as you watched it at home. And sometimes it didn't work.
Red! Punch Chicago. Negative, negative, negative. Flip polarity, flip polarity, flip polarity. Polarity. I don't know.
47 keeps the river up. And there's a feeling in Louisville tonight that somebody goofed.
First negative we've had on the show, isn't it? And Q Waller.
This is Walter Cronkite. Good night.
I had dreamed for a long time of being a CBS News correspondent. But it was not a dream that I had any assurance was ever going to be fulfilled.
Here is Dan Rather speaking directly from Galveston.
If evacuation of...
I had done stringer work for CBS television before. In 1961, we had this huge hurricane.
Evacuation should be hastened before it is too late.
The network switched to our live coverage.
The reason we have brought our live remote cameras down here to telecast direct from the United States Weather Bureau.
I was watching Rather, and I said, my God, this young man is fluent as can be. He seems to be able to go on forever, ad-libbing, without repeating himself. And we ought to take a look at him. We brought Rather up to New York, and I was impressed. He was a kind of a raw-boned young Texan at the time.
In the first weeks at CBS, I'm walking the hallways with Eric Severide, Charles Collingwood,
This is Charles Kuralt in New York.
Charlie Caron.
A report on the campaign.
I mean, I'm walking the halls with these guys. I'm saying, whew.
The civil rights story, obviously, is one of the major stories of my watch. The whole development of the story from the beginning, the first demonstrations in the South, the police reaction.
Mounted state troopers and police used tear gas and high-pressure water hoses in Plaquemine last night to break up a big civil rights demonstration that almost erupted into a race riot. Dan Rather has that story.
Tear gas grenades actually broke the marchers' ranks. Fire hoses were used mostly to keep the Negroes running or to force them from places of concealment. Some Negroes were clubbed, but so far as is known, none were hurt critically.
Once the civil rights story exploded, it was such a terrific story. And we were on the air virtually every day.
Firemen turned the hoses on the demonstrators on this corner. The stream of water forced the Negroes against the brick building. Still, for several minutes, they did not leave the scene.
The march in Washington, the appearance of Martin Luther King at the Lincoln Memorial, we had a sense through that of a coalescing movement that was not going to be stopped.
I have a dream today.
The Civil Rights Revolution took place because it took place on television.
Free at last! Free at last! Thank God Almighty! We are free at last!
Since Excedrin's the headache medicine, it was tested on one of the toughest types of headaches, migraines. The clinical tests proved Excedrin's formula relieves migraine headache pain. And to better help migraine sufferers, the FDA worked with Excedrin to develop an additional package with specific information about migraines. So next to Excedrin, there's a new package. Same proven formula called Excedrin Migraine. Excedrin Migraine, the only non-prescription medicine approved for migraine pain relief.
Brooks Brothers Eyewear by Luxottica. What do you want people to see?
I want you to see wisdom. You're a lucky man.
I want you to see that tradition doesn't have to be traditional.
Let them see you in Brooks Brothers Eyewear by Luxottica.
Last winter, after years of high cholesterol, Mike Vaughn had a heart attack. He spoke to his doctor about Zocor, a cholesterol medicine proven to help save the lives of people with high cholesterol and heart disease. Now he's made some important plans with Alex. When diet and exercise aren't enough, talk to your doctor about adding Zocor. Zocor is a prescription medicine and is not right for everyone. It is not for people with liver problems or women who are nursing, pregnant, or may become pregnant. Your doctor may perform blood tests to check for liver problems. Because serious side effects can result, tell your doctor about any muscle pain or weakness you experience while on Zocor. And tell your doctor about any medicines you are taking. For product information, talk to your doctor or pharmacist, or call 1-800-MERC-94. Zocor is the most often prescribed cholesterol medicine. Aren't there enough reasons in your life to ask your doctor about Zocor? Zocor, cholesterol medicine that helps save lives. It's your future. Be there.
Relief can't come fast enough when you have diarrhea.
We have a delay.
Our guy needs Imodium AD.
You need something faster.
Introducing Imodium Advanced for faster, more complete relief. New Imodium Advanced. Faster relief you can count on.
Tomorrow night, our week-long report on 50 years of history and the CBS Evening News will continue with a look at the turbulent decade of the 60s, marked by the assassination of a president in Dallas and the jungle hell that was Vietnam. For the CBS Evening News, Dan Rather reporting. See you again tomorrow. Good night.
CBS News.
A wreck this morning on Interstate 24.